All right, so let's talk about defense mechanisms. So this is a really important part of the chapter, but in the course in general. Defense mechanisms are unconscious protective behaviors that work to reduce anxiety. And they're an ego protector, so we don't necessarily realize that we're engaging in them until we're made known of the fact. Okay, they're ego protectors. So firstly, we have what's known as denial. This is whenever we refuse to accept reality because it makes us uncomfortable or because it's unpleasant. So in the example to the right, Kayla refuses to admit that she has an alcohol problem, although she is unable to go a single day without drinking excessively. And so although the indications of an alcohol use disorder are there, they are refusing to accept reality because they don't want to quit drinking and they don't want to believe that they have an alcohol problem. Displacement. So displacement is whenever we take unacceptable urges or frustrations and we cast them onto a less threatening target. Okay, so an example of this could be like your boss is being a jerk to you and you can't take out what you want to say on or what you want to do on your boss because that will lead to a difficult situation such as losing your job and subsequently losing your ability to earn a paycheck and pay your bills. So what individuals may do as a result, unfortunately this happens, is they will come home and take it out on their family or their friends because that's a less threatening target. It's not going to lead to that much of a lifestyle change as a result of taking those unacceptable urges and putting them onto a less threatening target. Okay, this happens really often. Projection. Projection is whenever we take unacceptable feelings or desires about ourselves and we put them onto other people. So in the example to the right, Chris often cheats on her boyfriend because she suspects he is already cheating on her. So in this case, what Chris is doing is she is actually engaging in the act of cheating, but she may either blame Chris or accuse Chris of cheating or think that their partner is cheating, so they just do it anyways. But in all reality, their partner is not actually cheating. They just believe it to be true, and she's casting feelings about herself onto her partner. And this happens too, I see, with people who are jealous of others, and they will, like for example, one individual may see another posting on social media and getting a lot of attention, and that person says, well, that person is just an attention seeker. They just want to be seen by others, and it's ridiculous that they get the attention that they do. But take a second and take a step back and say, well, is that something that that person actually wants? They're just jealous of the other person for getting it. That person wishes that they could post more and have the attention that the other person was receiving. It's important to really see and listen to other people and see how they talk about others because it may signal information about themselves and they're just casting it onto other people through jealousy. So projection is taking feelings about yourself and putting them onto other people. Rationalization. This is whenever we justify behaviors by substituting acceptable reasons for less acceptable real reasons. So for the example to the right, Kim failed his history course because he did not study or attend class, but he told his roommates that he failed because the professor didn't like him. Obviously, that's likely not the case. Professors, for the most part, I'm not saying this can't happen, but professors, for the most part, remain as objective and unbiased as they possibly can. They don't just seek out failing people just to fail them. But a lot of us may rationalize that what is actually happening and substituting those acceptable reasons for less acceptable ones. Maybe you're just not studying as much as you could be, right? And there are a number of examples that can fit under rationalization, such as for people who engage in substance use and abuse consistently. And they will consume the substance because, well, it makes me more social or it calms me down and I can operate as I would like to, or it motivates me. I'm more productive on this substance. When in reality, they're just substituting real reasons in that they just have a substance use difficulty for acceptable reasons. So for less acceptable reasons, just saying that, well, it makes me much better and able to operate at a better level. Reaction formation. Reaction formation is whenever individuals engage in reducing anxiety by adopting beliefs contrary to their own. So have you ever been in a situation where the group has a particular ideology or agreement, they're talking about something in particular, but you don't necessarily agree with it? However, you still go along with it and you still agree with them to go along with social harmony, because you're reducing that anxiety in the moment so you can or you're adopting beliefs contrary to your own just so you can reduce that anxiety momentarily, just to get you by. I know plenty of people who do this in topics just to try and be at an even state and try not to rock the boat. This commonly will happen with people who are pretty agreeable. Okay, regression. This is whenever we return to coping strategies for less mature states of development. So, for example, after failing to pass his doctoral examinations, Giorgio spends his day in bed cuddling his favorite childhood toy. And other people, whenever something happens to them in life, they don't get what they want, they may engage in adult temper tantrum. They act out in a less mature state instead of just dealing with their emotions on their own time and with the help of a therapist. They don't exactly know what to do, so they engage in childlike or less mature states to cope with the situation. Repression. So this is whenever we suppress painful memories and thoughts. So Lashaya, she cannot remember her grandfather's fatal heart attack, although she was present, because the brain has a tendency to suppress information that is traumatic or painful so as to protect you. Okay, so some memories for some people may become fragmented or forgotten altogether because the brain is just suppressing those painful thoughts and memories. And lastly, sublimation. So sublimation is whenever we redirect unacceptable desires through socially acceptable channels. So this is the most healthy and productive defense mechanisms. So, for example, Jerome's desire for revenge on the drunk driver who killed his son is channeled into a community support group for people who have lost loved ones to drunk driving. So Jerome, although as much as he wants to get back at this person for killing his son through a drunk driving incident, he could go off and do a number of other things that are not productive, but he channels it into awareness. A lot of people too, if they have frustrations or unacceptable urges, they'll go and take it out at the gym. So redirecting unacceptable urges and putting them into more productive and socially acceptable channels. Okay.